Right now to Mbali and Pretty Ladies. Well done. Firstly, on getting this documentary made, and thank you for your time this morning. Mbali, let's talk about how you got to this point of making this documentary, because I'm reading here that this started out as you wanting to investigate the makeup industry. So what was the intention and then the outcome? How do we get here?
I think in the beginning, with in terms of the makeup industry, what we wanted to do was to basically look at how foundation only has a specific range that it goes up to. So as soon as it gets to darker skin complexion, there is no foundation for darker skinned women. So what are they saying about darker skinned women and darker skinned women's beauty? So we went behind that, and we realized that it's very closely related to colorism, and how the standards of beauty are: the lighter you are, the prettier you are. Lighter skinned people are the standard. Lighter skinned people have the opportunities. In some countries, if you're at some points in history, like Mbali Mashaba was saying, if you're darker than a paper bag, you literally had no opportunities, you know, and the paper bag test. And I remember in our interviews...
In addition to the pencil test.
In addition to the pencil test, in one of our interviews, we were speaking to Ubuhle, and she was talking about how now in Libya, in the slave trade that's happening, lighter-skinned slaves are actually treated way better than darker-skinned slaves. So it is about, it's not just about my preference. It is about...
the reality out there.
The reality of our lives.
What's really happening
and where you
in
could
2019,
end up,
2018, 2019. So Pretty, what were the questions you asked in this documentary, and who did you ask them to? I mean, we saw some of it, but just a broader idea.
So what we decided to do is, when there's a problem, you need to get to the root level, right? So we were like, when we ask these questions, we need to get to everybody. So we decided to interview Jackie, who is the head of programming at the SABC, so we deal with the television side of things. And then we decided to ask Mbali Mashaba as well, because she's in performance.
Don't you just love Lebo? I mean, she's so honest and there. I miss working with her. I love that woman.
A crucial part of our documentary.
So we really, and we also asked individuals, high school, university students, just to get a broad sense of it all, to get to the root level of the problem. So when we asked the questions, most of them centered around what is pretty privilege, what is colorism, what does it entail, who benefits from it, who doesn't benefit from it, and how does it influence you on your, as well as your daily experiences that you have to go through each and every day when you go to university, when you look for jobs, when you the hierarchies that exist. So basically, we were trying to investigate, get to the root level of the problem, and find a solution for it.
So yes, I mean, it's the first time I've seen pretty privilege as a term, pretty privilege, and wasn't it too long ago that somebody did something about beautiful people got something free or something somewhere, and then we, you know, we also saw the eNCA campaign with the young model also falling. I mean, as young people and the people you spoke, is that something that we're looking at? Is that we're using beauty, and is it that, you know, women are allowing this to happen?
I think so. I think pretty privilege is quite problematic in the sense that who sets the standard for who is pretty, and then. And once that standard is established,
who defines pretty?
Who defines pretty?
Or beautiful? Or,
and it seems like once that standard is defined, then nobody else can be pretty. If you don't look like this, if you're not a size 28, and you're not a light-skinned girl, and you don't have straight hair, and you don't look more, I would say, lighter, then you're on the standard. And that is becoming a problem, because people are not getting access to jobs. People are not being considered. People who are qualified, people are falling short. And that is a problem that
How do we prove it, though? How do we prove that it's about aesthetics, that it's about that? I mean, you know, that's a tough one.
I think,
exactly.
I think one of the ways in which it is proven, Bibilo as well was talking about how she went to this entrepreneurs thing, and they were talking about what she looked like, and they were talking about the fact that if they had a list of candidates who all had the same qualifications, the same level of experience, the final deciding factor would be based off of the better looking person. And these are things that they are taught in when people go to entrepreneurs workshops and so forth. So a lot of the times these ideas are constantly being perpetuated, and we just wanted to
add on what Mbali said. So in the docu, Lebo mentions the fact that, you know how when posts go out about the fact that they're looking for people, auditions and whatnot. So she said that there's a media house that literally said that if you don't have 100,000 followers on social media, if you don't have straight hair, if you aren't light-skinned, it also goes into hair.
Yeah.
Wow. So if you don't have that, then you are not going to get the gig.
Yeah.
You trained to be an actor or presenter or whatever, but simply because of the fact that you don't
it stops right there. The door closes right there.
You don't have access.
I mean, do we ask the question, who decides? Like, let's go back to who decides what's pretty, what's beautiful, what's acceptable. And you know, we can't just go blaming men.
Yeah.
We blame women. Do we do it ourselves? Are we the ones that you know that we do it to our fellow sisters?
I think we do.
I also think so.
I think we buy into the standards and then we internalize them, and then they become the ways in which we think about beauty. And an example to use with that is kind of how you think about the natural hair girl, the girl with the natural black girl with natural hair, and the girl who relaxes and wears weaves. And it's like there is this weird little relationship between the two of us where one will think that they are the better woman. I am the better woman. I love myself. You hate yourself. You have a weave on.
So you need to look like someone else.
You need to look like someone else. And it's a weird little thing that's happening there, that women, I think we always like to box ourselves. And if you don't look like this, then you have to be. You know, you must
and
not
that's
be
very
the
sad.
standard.
That's very sad. So, Ubuhle, how's it done so far? What's been the reaction? What's been the response from those who've seen it?
Yeah.
So people who have seen the film loved it.
They did love it, and what we got out of the reception the most was how me and Pretty are very different women. We represent a very different standard of beauty.
You are yourselves. I can see that you are who you are. And you've come as you are. Yeah.
And people picked that up, and people were saying, well, Mbali, you're light skinned and you're small. You know, Pretty's darker and Pretty's much a fuller girl than you are.
Curvy girl.
How did you guys actually find a way to speak one voice? But we were able to. And Ubuhle was screened at the Bioscope Independent Cinema. It also went on to the Wits Main Theatre, and it was at the Cherry Film Festival in the Free State.
But isn't it funny, just isn't it funny that people thought because you know, that you wouldn't get along?
Which is how bizarre is that? Talking about the boxing.
Yeah.
We, a lot of times when we have conversations about multiple things, we agree on them.
But you couldn't have this conversation because you look different.
And that is the reality of the world. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to seeing it, and you know, and just we'll follow. We'll track Ubuhle and see where you go. It should go all over the world as far as I'm concerned. Fantastic. Tell us about the page quickly.
The page is on Instagram, Ubuhle the documentary. You can follow us there. There's also a screening happening on the 29th of March in collaboration with Bridge Books. That's going to be on Commissioner, 50 Rand an entrance, and we'll talk about it afterwards. There's a discussion.
Fantastic.
Anyone
wonderful. Well, it's been wonderful chatting to the two of you beautiful ladies. And thanks for coming in, and crossing fingers for Ubuhle to reach all corners of the world. Everybody needs this message. Thank you very much. That's Pretty Mangena and Mbali Mashaba behind the documentary Ubuhle that explores the politics of beauty and hair. And speaking of, well, beauty, here's